Hatfield, Tasmania, 2200 hours. With cameras now set, the team returned to the locations at night, attempting to recreate the circumstances of the sighting. Bill stands quietly on the side of the road while Chris and Woz drive past the location with the dash cam recording. They want to see how visible Bill is on the side of the road. While Bill sits quietly, he decides to make some yip calls out into the night in an attempt to get a response. To his surprise, he gets some interesting responses back. He flags down the car to get the recording gear. An excited Bill, now armed with the night vision camera, repeats the experiment.
I think the problem here is that it's too windy. There's too much rustling in the leaves. It's just not as quiet as the first time I did this. Let's try a few more yips. Now for my rubbo impersonation. Looks like my lift's coming. Didn't get anything that time. One of the problems I found is that it's just a little bit breezy and on the canopy all the trees are all rustling together, making all this extra sound that even if there was a response, wouldn't hear it over that rustling, over that breeze. We need to do this experiment again when it's absolutely dead quiet, where there's no breeze at all, it's completely still. We might get some result then. And once we go a recording of that voice or that response, whatever that noise is, then we can get to work to analyse it and do more study.
6 months later, the team returns to the location. It's always a tense time. Will the team be able to locate the cameras? Will they still be there? Could they have recorded crucial evidence?
Mate, 6 months ago, this actual area, somebody sighted a thylacine running across the road. We got here a week or so after. We set up some cameras. At night time I heard a very strange noise, a yip noise. Got us very excited. We're pretty pumped up to find what's on these cameras, mate.
Yeah,
what do you reckon?
Absolutely. You know, the details of the sighting, excellent. It says quintessential thylacine report. Be really keen to see what's on these cards.
And it's a pretty good habitat too. Let's go check these cameras out, mate.
Check it out.
Well, Warren, this is an interesting find, isn't it?
Yeah, it looks, this devil's been struck by a car not far from the road here.
And it's probably just, you know, a few days old, but the ravens have just picked clean the rib cage at the front there.
Yeah, it's interesting that no other devils have actually come in to start cleaning it up.
Yeah, maybe they'd probably would after time.
So how old do you reckon that this animal would have been?
Looks like a juvenile. Doesn't look much more than 2 years of age, I'd say, just looking at it.
Yeah, I was just trying to have a look at its face here. It looks like it is tumour or disease free.
Yep, I'd say a small female.
Yeah. What a pity, eh? This is what happens when these animals come up close to the road, so it's very unforgiving. The cars move past here very, very quickly, so the animal's not going to get too much chance to get out of the way.
Yeah, well, let's just hope it doesn't go the way of the thylacine. Let's go check those cameras.
Yep. Here it is here, Bill. Really keen to see what's on this camera. It's been out here for 6 months, and this is the one with the solar panel on, so...
I think this is the one I threw some sardines in front of too.
Yeah, well, they're obviously gone. You can see some structures down here that would be great little dens for animals, so... Let's, if you can undo it down here, out the back there.
Got that?
Yeah, got it. So I'll just see whether it's... And... it's on, we'll turn it off. Wow, the batteries in this are still fully charged after 6 months. So that shows you that the solar panel on this has worked really, really well in keeping this operating. It looks like there's about 11 minutes worth of footage on it as well. So hopefully there's some good information on this camera.
There's a battery in it. It gets charged up by the sun, and that charges up the camera. That's me paraphrasing what you just said.
Disregard the idiot. Would you like to tell us about the solar panel, Warren?
Yeah, so this is a new thing that we have. We've got a couple of cameras that are powered by solar panels. Typically the batteries in these things will last about 6 months, right, and then they'll go completely flat. That's how long this has been out here. what we've seen is that panel has kept this thing at 100% for over 6 months. So it could basically go on for another 6 months or until the card in it is completely full.
What's the value of that unit and was it worthwhile?
Well, the value of that unit's about $50 or $60, so it actually is quite worthwhile because it'll save us money in batteries, and it means that we don't have to come out to site as often. So some of the batteries can only last about 3 months, so it means we can leave the thing undisturbed. Our scent has a chance to leave the actual cameras, and we don't have to worry about coming out as often.
Another one that's intact.
Another one intact and still here.
Hasn't been burnt, stolen or eaten.
Until the Sasquatch
Till
touches it and breaks it. Oh, Sasquatch.
Okay, let's see. Okay, so this one is down to 2 bars. So it's used 50% of its battery in 6 months, which is good. It's got 140 minutes, it looks like, of recording. So that's a lot of video. So obviously the majority of those are going to be false triggers and whatnot. But
I think we have to go back to a hotel room and look at this.
Yes. Okay, so that's 2 out of 4. Turn around.
Anything else?
Yep.
Your black wolf's smaller than my black wolf.
No, the amount of times I've been told that. Okay, so I think there are 3 that were quite close together. The very first camera in the chain, camera 1, I'm pretty confident, well, at least according to this GPS, should be about 5 meters away. It's camouflage. It's a great place to hide these cameras, but it should be close, so we need to spread out and see where we can find it, mate.
Or is it just a few meters behind Chris?
Or yeah, that. In fact, that's it right there.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so this one, again, is only 1 bar down. 362 shots on this. So it's obviously got a very large card on it.
We're in for a long night, aren't we?
Yeah, well, it's Chris's job to actually do this while we're sleeping. Chris will be reviewing this, but
Sounds good to
again,
me.
looks like we've got some good material on here, so one can only hope we've got the shot we're looking for.
Okay.
Nowhere in my contract does it say I have to be sober to do that job though.
Turn around, little buddy. So it would be a good control if you do see Thylacine's drunk. We'll know.
Okay, so you need to lead on to camera 4. Playing this camera sighting in reverse, you can actually see we've got a large open area, a game trail coming in here, and that's why we've laid the cameras in that fashion. So any animal making its way to the sighting location on that road is going to have to walk past this area.
Yeah.
Well, we can see why they say you've got tracking skills second to none. In the middle of nowhere, you've been able to find this camouflage camera, which has got a few extra things hanging off it. So,
Well, it's probably because I put it here. And I tied this knot.
Tracking skills second to none.
tracking skills second to none.
Thanks to another world-class zoologist.
Yeah, pass it to the person who knows what he's doing.
What was again?
After 6 months, we don't want it to implode or something with you touching it.
I'm the tracking skills now, second to none. Chris
You
is
actually
the world-class
see-
zoologist. What was
just-
again?
Spreadsheet, man.
Oh, the geek, yeah.
Yeah.
Can you just see in here, Bill, that there's evidence of spider webs actually getting inside the environmentally protected camera case? So, yeah, so we'll just see now. We'll just turn it into test mode. And we see that again, it's only used a third of its battery, 146 minutes of recording time. So that's pretty impressive. So we could have conceptually left these out here for 18 months based on the evidence that we've seen,
Yeah.
and it still would have had plenty of memory card capacity. The solar powered one, probably 2 or 3 years based on just the memory capacity, because the battery would have lasted pretty much forever. So this is the last one. Turn it off. I'll put it in your backpack here. We'll take the long trip back to the support vehicle and have a look at them with the computer.
And what sort of backpack was that?
It's a Black Wolf. Black
Wolf.
Proudly sponsored by.
Don't you
Black
have a
Wolf.
Black Wolf backpack?
I do. It's actually quite good gear.
It's very good gear.
Well priced, hardy, durable.
Okay, so these cameras are being out here for what, 6 months?
Yeah, 6, 7 months. And this all started when we got a Facebook notification to say that there'd been a thylacine sighting off a West Coast highway, prominent spot. We were excited enough to come all of this way to put these cameras out.
Yeah, and I seem to remember that night that you guys dumped me off on the cold side of the road while you guys drove off in your nice air-conditioned van, and I heard this noise out in the distance, so
Yeah,
let's see what we've got.
absolutely. A lot of video. The cameras lasted 6 months.
There goes a car. We're now close to the road.
Yeah, we are close to the road. And I think the other thing that we actually did on that is we did the experiment where we put you on the side of the road. We had the dash camera, and we drove past at speed, the speed that the witness would have been driving at, to see whether we actually could see you on the camera. And when we actually had a look at you on the camera, we couldn't see you at all. So it kind of dispelled...
Not even my beard.
Not even your fluorescent glow beard with the glow stick in it. Now, what that tells us is that this belief that a dash camera is going to be able to provide definitive evidence of thylacine because of the sightings at night was kind of debunked, because we couldn't even see you, a 6 foot tall individual, 80 to 105 kilo range. So we could see you with our naked eyes, Chris and I as drivers of the vehicle, but the camera didn't pick you up.
Can a Luddite just make an observation? Could it be the quality of the camera of the dash cam?
Well, that's a really good point, and that's exactly why we have a 1080p top-of-the-line dash camera. So it's a black view, so it's one of the best dash cameras on the market. So there are obviously a lot that are not as good as that particular camera. It has a 120-degree view, so it can't pick it up with high beam lights. Then you're going to be struggling with any of the current technology that we have.
Okay. The futuristic technology.
Futuristic.
Military-grade things happening.
So what brand was that, Warren?
It was a Black View. Black View.
Sorry, I didn't quite hear that. What brand was that?
Black View, Christopher. Yeah. Black View. So away you go, Bill.
This episode's called TAU Sells Out.
Hey, Tracker.
Yes.
With skill second to none, how about you go in the right direction?
The road's over. I was going to travel around. I was going the nice, pretty part.
No, that way.
Oh, yeah. Go the hard way.